Desert Hermit, Restream.io. How do I come out? Mike, okay? Fixed.
No,
Thank you,
thank
Chucky B.
we appreciate it, and also thanks, Rob. I didn't realize it was showing my zip code. That's not good.
Shout outs to chat.
Yeah, thanks, chat. Thanks, guys.
Alrighty.
Okay,
So,
sorry. Continue. You were in the middle of reading.
no, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. So let's see. No other group is so prone to suicide, yet has a monopoly over using the mention or even implication of it to control those around them. It is a horrendous and effective emotional abuse that is magnified with each grievance and slight, real or imaginary, online or offline. Trans people are the champions of engaging with the world around them as if repeating something long enough makes it true. Society dictates language, not the other way around, but they seem to be an exception that drags everything around them into this substitution of reality. Any group of people killing themselves at abnormal rates is certainly mentally ill, the only exception being the terminally ill, who are dying in the short term. They'll have an explain it away or you're an ist harboring an ism, possibly a phobia, reply to this. They always do. Southern blacks during the 1800s didn't have that high a suicide rate. Jews in Nazi Germany didn't either. So, unless modern transphobia is worse than slavery and extermination camps, then there's something else at play, like maybe mental illness, throwing your mind and body out of whack with hormones, or surrounding yourself with an online echo chamber that isolates you from the rest of society. It's why anyone who detransitions has to be exiled and swept under the rug because it ruins the facade. That last detail is crucial to keep it all going. Imagine getting life altering surgery after hormone therapy. Well, only once it's done do you realize that identical is not the same as equal. Cheered on every step of the way, then abandoned just like that must be crushing. Basketball great Joe Dumars once said, on good teams, coaches hold players accountable. On great teams, players hold players accountable.
Mm.
The response from the trans community to Audrey Hale, who was a female to male trans person that shot up a school when I was writing this, and you know the morbid, prescient nature of the cover and this chapter. Mr. Charlie Kirk was murdered, if not assassinated, by a trans person, and I think may or may not be a furry. You see, it's a it's a package deal of bad ideas, man. Don't even
Yeah.
get me started on furries. Jesus Christ. Actually, just a minute. They're the only subculture, what have you, that's exclusively tied to STD scares at conventions, zoophilia, bestiality, animal abuse. No other group has a monopoly on that but furries. Anyways, this
So
chapter's
are furries the people that you see? I mean, it's actually funny. This is like a thing that is coming out now. Are furries the thing that you see when it's like the people wearing those leather dog masks?
uh
And it's like, of course, like the some bureaucrat in the government to like, or like some military guy who takes a picture of himself in the
oh,
dog mask. Have you
I
seen
I
that?
yes, and it's almost always brass. It's almost always like tier one operator, but like on
Yeah.
all fours with weird hand heels
Yes.
for the
Yeah.
dog pose. Yeah. I believe if that's not insane gay BDSM dog themed shit, then I believe it's furries.
So
Um,
yeah, I don't know if those are furries or if those are like some other category of like gay BDSM. I was driving around LA once and I saw a
mhm.
guy in one of those masks sitting on a bridge. And not like he was gonna kill himself, like he was like waiting to get picked up. Like he was like, I'm here to be your dog.
Oh
Like,
boy, no, bring
God,
back
it's so
shame,
disgusting,
bring
man.
back shame. But no, furries are more closer to like anthropomorphic animal fursuits. If you see people in public with
Yeah.
those, they tend to stick to conventions because they stink worse than the third circle of hell. So you
Wow.
usually smell them before you see them. Um,
Jeez.
forbidden research. Whatever you do, don't look up rainforest. D- Don't look that up.
Rainforest. Yuck. That
Yes.
sounds gross.
So no other group in history has confused compliance with flattery and love and acceptance like this group has. Love without truth is something else entirely, and from the outside, their lives seem like an endless struggle of existing while trying to reconcile that at all costs. We're getting the cause and effect of this back to front. Many transition for the same reason they commit suicide. They're just two forms of escapism for unhappy people. You wonder if the trans suicide epidemic are people waking up from mania and wondering what they've done. You will live to see trans regret suicide cults.
Hmm. Well, I mean, of course, this is insane, right? I mean, of course, the trans thing is crazy.
Right.
Uh, I think it's just like, so what do you think happened with Kirk? Do you think the roommate, the trans roommate, knew about it, or do you think that it was they didn't know about it? I mean, what do you think?
Okay, so I'm curious in what capacity the FBI was in touch with this entity, this unperson, this subhuman. Excuse me for saying that, but like, because as we all know, prior to trans people slowly climbing the leaderboard in the mass casualty incident game, the number one cause of shooters in the United States were the FBI and SSRIs. So there have been a few trans shooters that were in touch with the FBI on Discord one way or another. So that's kind of like until we could get concrete proof of that, um, to the degree that the roommate can be trusted, I'm not sure. However, um, Charlie Kirk did have words about Israel, which were tamer than most, and Jewish donors to the left and to the right, Republicans and Democrats. If memory serves you correctly, that was a Chabad menorah behind him when he was murdered. So my
Uh,
bookie is no longer accepting bets that he was got by Israel. I really want to say uh, I'm inclined to believe him. However, Kirk is a unique figure because he's kind of tame and milquetoast compared to plenty of other notable figures with much more bombastic language. I think he's just been a mainstay for so long. Like when people go on shootings, they shoot up what's most familiar to them, like Walmarts and schools, even though they might have a grievance with an institution, right? It's almost always what they're most familiar with. So Kirk's
hmm.
been around for what, a decade and a half on college campuses.
Yeah, and a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was a mainstay, and excuse me for bringing up a tweet of all things, but I remember seeing a tweet to the effect of like someone in disbelief going, "You mean to tell me there are people more racist than Charlie Kirk?" Like, oh, sweetheart, really? Like they don't just, oh no. So I think it's because of familiarity, and he was a mainstay for so long. And to his credit, he got made fun of in South Park, and he made it his PFP for a little while. I don't think most of us would have done that, especially as quick as he did. Good on him. So,
What was he making fun of South Park for? What was the or sorry, what was South Park making fun of him for exactly?
oh, I don't shoot the messenger, but ever since the COVID episodes, I sort of checked out of South Park, not out of
Yeah.
malice or spite, just life, focusing on books and putting up flyers and shit like that.
Yeah. Totally. So, okay, so what do you make like why I mean, to me it's pretty obvious that people who become trans
Hmm.
are I actually don't have too much blame or like hatred. I mean, not hatred at all. I mean, like I don't think it's completely their fault, right? It's these are very sad individuals. These are individuals who are not happy, right, with who they are,
Right.
and they haven't figured out how to be happy with who they are. And we live in this world where literally there is this strain of thinking that you're right, it is all one thing in the sense that it begins with critiquing the West, right?
Hmm.
It sort of begins with leftism. It begins with spiritual leftism, which I know because I've suffered from it before.
Hmm.
It's this just kind of fury at the world, and I think it's fury at the world, and it's a feeling that it's not fair, and you've been given a bad hand, and everything is a joke, and there's no way to get ahead. And of course, in our contemporary world where, what is it? Home ownership has gone from, 50% of under 30 to 10.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not
like
hard to understand why people feel like they don't have any chance and why they don't have any stake,
oh,
especially if you're a guy, right?
and especially if you're a young man, because I think only what 10 to 15% of Zoomers own their own home or property, and even if it's just a trailer on an acre of land, that counts. And guess what? Only 10 to 15% can say that. So
Yeah.
I think there's also a lot of misguided anger, which unfortunately, like if you look at the difference between, not to boil it down to simple left and right, but like, all right, if there's misguided anger, and things aren't fair, if it begins with a critique of the West and the things that are, um, what's the best way to put this? I don't want to call it postmodern nonsense or gibberish, but like, you know, it's this weird substitution of reality. Like all activists on the left are gonna be on their deathbed wishing they had done more for the club-footed trans two-spirit refugee non-binary Native American immigrant that took their job. You know, however, like with this, life is fair, shit sucks. What do we do? Both sides can easily go online. And I have my own critique of culture war. I think ultimately it boils down to like criticism without conclusion has no standard. So, unfortunately, the
Criticism
left
without
failed their way
conclusion.
into power and they ended up in like local politics, which is why you have like rainbow flag crossings in your neighborhood, or you don't even have to be a city, a small town. Some freak trans weirdo that took over the library and then ran for town hall now has your town on the public.
Well, right. Okay. So
Yeah.
so that's another part of it, right? Like the reason why you look at these locales,
Mhm.
another evidence that it's all one thing is
Yeah.
every time there's some sort of tragedy in some town like Charlotte or, Minneapolis,
Hmm.
uh, suddenly the mayor of this town has the national spotlight, right?
Yes.
And they are 100% of the time some sort of freakish Ivy League theater kid, right? Like
Mhm.
Jacob Frey in Minneapolis,
Suspiciously
or
overqualified.
right, and it's like they're not even from there. It's like it'll be like, oh yeah, they moved there 10 years ago, and it's like it's like the pipeline. So either they're sort of an overachieving, gayish theater kid type of person who, their unhappiness has driven them to seek office, right?
Right.
Or it's some sort of gravy train minority who's 80 IQ and is like a black woman who just has like Kamala Harris basically
Oh yeah.
cloned,
So
right?
you
Who
make
has
you
no
make a great
abilities
point.
at all.
Like
So
it's either ethnic grievances for Gibbs, and funny enough, among the biggest proponents of mass migration are black politicians. So I mean, you can't help but imagine them getting cartoonishly big bags of money with a dollar
yes,
sign on
which
it
they do,
to,
which they
to,
obviously do.
to fuck over their own people. But here we are. Or you have the gayish, fruity mega gay. You end up with Pete Buttigieg, and
Well,
no,
but Buttigieg is totally one of these.
right,
Buttigieg is totally one of these people.
and for the record, what happened to East Palestine, Ohio, no one ever talks about, and he was in charge. What was he, Secretary of Transportation when that happened? I think.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
and with these people, quote unquote, it's almost like the bigger the failure, the bigger the reward. Sometimes you see that in the corporate world.
Right.
Sometimes, not all the time.
Well,
But
but what I'm saying is the same thing driving people to be trans drives Pete Buttboy to
Rat Boy Genius.
be a mayor, right?
Yeah.
Because they're first of all, when you don't have kids, right? Yeah, you can go and buy yourself some gabies, I guess.
Mhm.
But if you don't actually have the ability to have children, and that's something that's actually on the table for you,
Mhm.
your view of the world is immediately vastly skewed from a normal person, right? Because you're
Yeah.
thinking, how do I fill these days up? How do I fill this life up? What am I going to do for the rest of my fucking time? Right? It's like like when you make your sin your identity, which is when I say getting fucked in the ass by a man is my identity, right? That's who
Correct.
I am. When you say that, it's probably quite scintillating for a little while, right? I mean, it's like people, they're attracted to it for a reason. They do it for a reason.
Mhm.
It's probably really fun. You know, you get off all the time. You know, it's probably, you know, I'm sure they're not lying about being attracted to men. I mean, I think they actually are, right?
Mhm.
So, like life wise, it's really not that bad of a deal, right? But it's like, okay, well, I get to say whatever I want for the rest of my life. I never have to worry about really doing anything. I never have to worry about saving for a kid. You know, I get to go out every night. I get to do drugs. I get to fucking write or whatever my shit is, and I get to, you know, have sex all the time. It's
Right.
not a bad deal, right? But
However, right.
there has
How,
to, hold on. Let me just finish the point. But there has to come a point in that where it's too easy. You're floating on the cloud, right? You're floating. You're just floating. You're floating above responsibility. You're floating above life. And so at a certain point, the impetus has to come in to do something. And I think that that's why they go and they spread their fucking they spread their mind virus to other people. That's like they become agents of spreading the disease, kind of, right?
it's like the propagation of bad art concepts in real time, but with our lives through the machinations of local political power. Everything you described, a guy who's single and straight can do, party, go out and, write and do all these things. But I think, ultimately, if he ends up in power, one, how does a lifetime bachelor who's not gay end up in political power, right? One. And two, if he doesn't have kids, and if he's making policy for people who do, there's immediately like a divide, right? It kind of like how it makes as much sense for look, the left is right twice a day, broken clock, right? So one example is, hey, old white dudes making legislation over women who ovulate, they can't give life into the world, what do they know about, right? So there's some degree of like, you have to have some intimacy and familiarity. If you're a gay butt boy who got a brand new artifact baby from Sudan and you look like you hate your husband whenever you have your photo taken with him, and now you want more tuberculosis treatment resistant light bulb headed refugees sitting next to you on the bus and
Yeah, isn't
crowding
it so
your kids
funny?
up from school, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Isn't it so
Right.
funny when like that gay dude who was on, like he was of course the health minister because that's just we live in that, and he's like has pictures of himself with his like leather. We got to find a picture of that guy.
Oh
Who
yeah.
was leather health minister guy,
Oh yeah.
and he wears, like have you ever seen the great Friedkin movie Cruising?
Yes, with Pacino. Yes.
Yeah. Um, okay, what was his name? Gabe. What was this fucking guy's name?
I
Yeah, it's
forget.
like
Uh,
no,
uh,
no, no. Yeah, but with Pacino. But that I'm trying to find this fucking guy who was this like leather daddy who was
oh,
a
and
health minister.
this isn't an
Uh,
isolated incident. There are plenty of pictures
yeah,
on
there's
Twitter.
like others of these too. Yeah, it's like right. It's like no, the fucking pedo guy from San Francisco is also like has pictures of himself in leather. And dude, again, like that movie's fucking great. Cruising is so fucking good.
Oh, by
And
the
it's
way,
really
that
honest.
movie. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's no, it's fine. Yeah, it's really honest about the gay community. They could never make that movie today.
there
You
there were
know,
there were little bits in that movie that are almost like artifacts of ancient gay men culture, like the handkerchief scene and like the color and what it denotes
yes,
on
the
the left
handkerchief
or the
scene.
right
Remember that?
pocket.
Remember that? Yeah,
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 and
yeah, yeah.
it almost seems quaint by today's standard. Back when people got beat up for being gay.
Yeah,
Jesus.
right, right. Well, and it's like that. That's what's so, like again, if you want to go and do that, I don't. I'm kind of libertarian about that.
Hmm.
What was his name? Fired Health guy. I
I will
can't
say,
fucking remember.
remember
I'm trying to
all
find
the
him.
remember last decade and it bled out into this decade when all the health ministers in Europe were like cheesecake elementals and butter golems or like ghouls and
Yeah,
wigs.
right. But remember, and our health minister a trans?
I believe
Or
so.
health, whatever it was, like for a
And
while. It's, yeah,
to kind of circle back to one of your earlier points, or like like weird gay dog mask types in the military. A lot of trannies in the military too, because they pay for everything. You just have to sign up for Uncle Sam and have your ego destroyed and built back up through aggression, and then you end up as a mod in some image board somewhere.
Yeah, dude. Well, and it's also right. So that leather daddy got fired, and then he's like out there, advocating for more immunizations for like these diseases that you get from like sex and stuff. So again, it's sort of this like replicating thing. Let me just be very clear here, though, before somebody tries to come and kill me.
Hmm.
I actually don't think that, being gay, I have plenty of gay friends. I like gay people. I think being a gay guy in the society is fine. It's, there's a role for it, right? And it also, it's naturally occurring. Like it
Yeah,
does happen. It's something that does happen,
of
right?
humanity is more
Yeah.
or less from
Sam
caveman
Brinton.
days to
Thank you,
now.
Beach Chud. Yeah, Sam Brinton. We're trying to find fucking pictures.
Oh,
of
but
this
very
Sam
quickly,
Brinton.
I've heard from gay people, young and old, especially the
No,
older.
not this guy. This Sam Brinton was yet another one of these.
Oh, yes.
people. It was another one. Sam Brinton was the one that was bald and dressed like a woman,
and
that was also fired.
geez,
This
Sam.
was another more recent
Fabulous
guy that
Sam
was like
Brinton.
leather. He wore leather. It was like under his shirt, and then it was like, he was more of the type of gay guy who wears the like leather uh police hat
Wiener?
thing,
Was his last name
but
Wiener?
they love those police hats. Why do they love those police hats?
I
love
think,
it's like they look like a train conductor or something.
oh, I think it's to
yeah.
assert tough guy macho masculinity, but like kind of like how a chinless dork in Bushwick can wear flannel and grow out a beard, and that's like the masculine version of a padded bra. So like that tough guy hat. You're expecting some burly biker, but when it's worn by a guy like, "Hi, I do IT for the NSA, go trans lives matter," it just looks funny, and not to pick on California, dude, but I've seen plenty of elected officials in local and in bigger office in California in pride parades looking just like everyone else, and you wouldn't know they were like the mayor of their town or some shit, unless it was Twitter.
Yeah, he was a Greek guy. Fired health. Anyway, we'll find a. Oh yeah, there we go. Dimitri Daskalakis. Dimitri Daskalakis.
This fucking
Yeah,
guy.
physician. It's so funny. This is like fucking amazing.
Okay,
so
okay,
it's like they've tried to bury this. They've tried to like fucking bury it. Like you look at Google, like hold on, hey, people just watching from home, you gotta fucking see this. So Google is so fucking fucked. So this is Dimitri Daskalakis. So when you see these pictures, it's like, oh, it all looks like pretty normal, right? Like he's just a guy, like, oh, he takes pictures with his shirt off, a little weird,
Yeah.
but and like, okay, well, it seems fine. And then, oh, wait a second, what is this? Here's him wearing like a leather daddy
In the shape of a
thing
pentagram.
under his shirt in the shape of a pentagram. And then he's got a couple of these. He's got a couple
Oh.
different versions of this
Oh.
leather daddy thing.
Well,
and then if you go on Twitter, we don't even have to do
Man.
it. If you go on Twitter, it gets so much crazier. And it's
If-
like him obviously in gay clubs. Like
if I could just
fisting people.
interject for a moment, like this is,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
really
sorry.
glad you showed this picture because if you look at his chest, that's the 5-pointed star, and that tends
Right.
to be synonymous with like Satan and Satanism, of course. But there are no people on the right inking themselves up with Baphomet the same way the left does, because if you look at Baphomet, I don't know if you could pull it up for chat, but he's a lovely, horrendous entity that the occult and evil love, and it's this goat-headed,
Sure, let's look
tittied
past Baphomet.
man
this is
beast
Baphomet.
thing.
We've all seen Baphomet. So what's the deal with Baphomet again?
Oh geez,
Baphomet.
it's sort of like, I don't want to say the alchemical combination of man and women, but I couldn't tell you what his executive summary is, but he ends up getting tattooed on a lot of trans people, and that's a bro. It's one thing when fucking guys who do 25 years in a pen get Jesus on their back. They never get Baphomet on their back. But come on, like, is this when people destroy their bodies and then start getting that tattooed on their body? I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like, I mean,
Interesting.
so
Yeah, it's like a Knights Templar thing. Okay, so yeah, and then so that's Dimitri, whatever. Wait, let me find. Yeah, here we go. Okay, I can't not share it. Then here is where
Oh boy.
the rabbit hole goes, and they love. There's certain things that these like Dems they love. I think there's a picture of Obama wearing a similar mask thing with
Oh,
similar horns.
I
Isn't there?
remember it was like a bejeweled everything from like the nose down, and it was part of a horned white cape gown thing. Is that what you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about?
Mm-hmm.
I that
Yeah.
yes. Now again, like it's all one thing. I'm sure there are people on the right who do stuff like this, but they've got to be like one out of 100,000 maybe at
Yep.
most. And I'm being
Yeah.
generous here, man. Why is this
Yeah.
so symptomatic among people with all the same bad ideas without your best interest in mind? I'll spare you the Sam Hyde quote about how they want you broke and your kids dead and right and the kids
Yeah.
right. But just look at this, and if you can't put two and two together, I don't know what to tell you, man. I know you can, and I know chat can, but
Well,
we have
no.
people
So
who live in this country who
when I
can't.
look at this, I don't see. So right now, for anybody at home, we found him. Chat. It's Dimitris Demikatikis, some Greek person. You're Greek, aren't you?
I'm half Greek, yeah, Greek and
Yeah. Okay. So
Ecuadorian.
you should know how to pronounce this. But so when I see this, like this looks very scary, right? And I
Yeah.
think it is scary in these people's heads, though, right? Like again, this is a function of what we were just talking about. When your sin becomes your identity, the rabbit hole, it just like this is evil, but it's evil not because this guy is evil. I don't even really think people can be evil. It's evil because it's totally godless in the sense that it's going further and further away from God and celebrating it, right?
Oh,
It's like
well,
saying like I am this creature. I am this animal, and all I do is just go deeper and deeper into these thrills, right? And I'm
hmm
just seeking more thrills, and I'm getting sicker, and I'm getting, like you get sick, your body breaks down, you just, right? It's like it starts to be really bad, and instead of society saying, hey, no, that's bad, you should be shamed, don't, it's like if it's like it's, you know what, in the straight community, it's the same as being super poly, right?
wait, wait, wait,
It's
wait.
like I'm
The
poly,
straight
like
community.
it's the
You mean
same
the
fucking
normal
thing.
community? I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
right. Or the straight, whatever. So
Society?
it's
You mean
like,
society?
yeah,
I'll stop. I'll
I just
stop. I'll
feel like
stop.
that's how these people get here. It's like Obama, right? Obama was just a guy. He was work hard, play hard. Powerful people all have weird sex stuff, and he was into fucking dudes probably. And you just go down these pathways. And again, when there's nothing stopping you, it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper,
Oh,
and
well,
you're
I
needing
would.
to have more and more of a fix. That's why it's like I don't even really blame these people. It's the same with trans. It's like they just get deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole, and it becomes this kind of thing where it's like, oh well, in order to get this momentary thrill fix, I have to go further and further and further to where
Mhm.
you're mutilating yourself.
Okay.
And
There
you
is a
don't
lot
have
of
to.
there's a lot of truth to that in every vice and a lot of behavior. I just want to cover a few quick things real quickly. One, I've never seen a picture of Michelle Obama pregnant. Have you?
No,
Okay, so let's just okay. Number two,
it's
the
weird.
absence of God in these people's lives, I think, is very evident. And I said it before, and I'll say it again, man. Atheism is a mental illness. Atheism is proof that one bad train of thought can fucking destroy your life. Imagine your life being destroyed, and imagine denying yourself the most precious gift of all, life, because of an opinion. And first of all, you look at these jerk offs. Gaytheists are overwhelmingly in support of transvestites, troons, pooners, crunchy granola, eco death cult ideas about the environment, being too cool to eat meat, being pro COVID vaccine. They adore migrants and can't get enough of female to male beer can golem cock. Again, it's all one thing. It's a package deal, dude.
What's beer can golem cock?
Oh, when a female to male transitions, they graft a chunk of forearm and
Ugh.
thigh meat, and then they turn it into a fake. Then they turn it into this fake horrific golem appendage. Like if you were a necromancer and dug up a few corpses and stripped
Yeah.
all of the skin off of it and made a golem out of that, but you made a dick, it would look
Yeah,
like that.
that's what it is. No, I've seen those pictures of